Alright, hello. I'm back after quite a while of being away. Actually, I haven't even really thought about how long it's been, but hello. It's been a while. I'm back now. I had a few things I needed to sort out. I had a few sort of personal, family, and yeah, quite a few matters I had to deal with. A few things came up, and then just got really extreme from there. All of that's sorted now. So a lot of my free time is now spared up. And I figured I'd get back into making these kind of videos again. Let's see. I was thinking about how I would sort of start these videos. Once again, my intention in the beginning when I was making these videos was really more about trying to document doing things that sort of freaked me out, scared me a little bit, getting out of my comfort zone. And though a lot of that hasn't really happened, at least sort of not really in the way that I had originally intended for things to go. Obviously, as I was sort of starting to build up momentum, I'd sort of made videos. I made one video a day for just over a week by the time I sort of had to really switch my priorities a bit. I got really good momentum there as well, and I definitely intend to get back into that swing. But I do acknowledge that with a lot of those videos in the past, a lot of the videos that I had made, they become more about sort of, it sounds a little corny to say, but it was more about personal enlightenment. Like I spent a lot of time trying to make sense of my experiences and my existence. And definitely with a lot of these videos that I do continue to make from now on, I will keep making videos like this. And my intention will be, again, to make one of these types of videos daily for at least the next 30 days until the 30th of September, assuming that, I don't end up having the world fall on my lap again. And the thing is, I've spent a little bit of time, because there was actually about a week where everything had kind of all settled down. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'll actually make one of these videos. And then before I knew it, it was the 30th of August. And I was like, okay, well, I could start making video today, but I might as well wait until the 1st of September, and then I actually will make one video for 30 days, and then it's very easy for me to actually see where I'm at, because, if I'm doing one video for 30 days and it sort of matches the sort of day of the month, it's very, very easy for me to keep track of how long I've remained consistent with this. And I was thinking a lot about what I wanted to make this first video about. I obviously do have a few points and things that I will obviously use when I make new videos, as I continue to make videos over the next month. And it would be great if I would continue to actually make these videos even after those 30 days. Probably might not make them daily, at least, I'll make sure that I do what I can to keep that consistency going. But, obviously just sort of looking at a few notes that I'd actually written down for today. In this video, I wanted to come clean. I've read, watched, and consumed so much information over the past 5 years, but I haven't learned all that much. My conditions are relatively the same. My behavior has sparsely changed, no matter how intelligent it feels to have gone through so much great information. What my behavior has truly shown is that I haven't learned anything. I have learned nothing, or at least very little. I have been, the word that I used, I have been mentally masturbating with this information, telling myself it is for educational purposes. But truly, when I lift the veil, it is clear it has predominantly been for entertainment. This is something that sort of came up to me, something that I was thinking about after I'd watched I haven't actually watched the full length video yet. I actually probably should, because there's a lot of really good sort of shorts that have come out of that interview. It's an interview with Chris Williamson, and when he interviews Alex Hormozi for like the second or third time. I'll actually link the sort of YouTube Shorts clip that I saw of it. That's on Chris Williamson's on his YouTube channel. And the thing is that I have either listened to or read over 200 books in the last 5 years. Not to mention all the YouTube videos and all the other sort of shorts and all the other sort of free courses I've sort of consumed since I've finished high school. But I predominantly went into all of these sort of information sessions where I'd actually go, where I would intentionally look to, where I would actually intend to go through this information, trying to make sure that I would learn from it. I'd be trying to soak in that information like a sponge and try to understand the things that I did not ever really understand, or, you know, try to consider things that either I did not understand before, or try and understand things that I didn't even know were things that I actually should consider. But I go into these sort of information sessions with no clear target of what I was intending to take away from the material. I've obviously taken dot points of some of the sort of really great fundamental nuggets of the info I've discovered sort of through that process, through reading over 200 books and actually learning a lot else through a lot of other mediums. And, you know, also part of the reason why I think that I may not have actually tracked all of that down was because I'd actually find that when it would come to the audiobooks that I'd listen to, it's really convenient to actually have that information on in the background, rather than sort of really being completely focused and in the moment with that sort of info, actually trying to really soak it all in, rather just have it as a sort of distraction almost, hoping that I'd actually get a few things out of it. And I definitely have, but clearly not as much as I really should have. And I was thinking about this, about sort of the action, about the takeaway I really want from actually looking into this, actually thinking about it, and it being something that sort of stuck with me for quite a few days. And it's something that I really should have been doing from the get-go, but I was sort of a little bit too lazy to want to do it in the beginning. And then I just kind of never really committed to it. But from now on, I'm going to change that. From now on, I'm going to make sure that the information that I actually take, that the action I take will lead to a legitimate change in behavior. That the information that I consume will actually lead to a legitimate change in my behavior. Rather than just it be a form of entertainment, it will truly be a source of education. Now, from now on, I will ensure that when I intend to learn or consume information, that I will do so with a critical intention and direction. I will simply plan the intention. Now, for example, I've actually got a book or an audiobook that I am going to intend to listen to when I finish a book that I will likely actually either finish tonight or tomorrow night, depending on a few sort of personal things that I've got going on today. And this book, I believe it's called Honeybee Democracy. It's just it was like a freebie on Audible, and I figured why not sort of read that. It's got a pretty interesting sort of title. I believe it's something along the lines of, I believe the premise of the book is the author actually looking into the life of bees and actually seeing how their behavior, actually how we can replicate a lot of their behavior and implement that into our lives. And I'm sort of intrigued to see the similarities we have with bees. It also is just a way for me to kind of, it also primarily was a form of entertainment for me as well, just sort of trying to sort of use my time better than sort of just sitting in the car listening to music with no additional benefit, whereas at least if I'm listening to something that might actually be really insightful, I actually could learn something from it. And that sort of was part of the premise in the beginning of why I was going through these books, sort of just hoping that over time I'd get nuggets and everything would add up. And though that has definitely been something that has occurred, I need to make sure that I am legitimately putting emphasis on why it is I am intending to learn, why I am intending to find entertainment from what from that information that should really be about education, which is the sole intention at the end. It is to enjoy learning something, so it will actually have a positive impact on my well-being. Unfortunately, I don't think I have seen as much of the benefit that I realized I really could be having. And so, you know, in this example with that sort of book, I will now prepare what I intend to learn from that book. And if I'm not driving while listening to it, when obviously I can't, you know, be driving and then hear something, pause it and then write it down, because if I'm in traffic, that's dangerous and it's actually likely illegal. And I did actually have an accident, which is part of the reason why, while I was driving, while I had all these other personal issues happen when I wasn't making these videos, when I did take this break. So I should really want to be trying to be more focused on the road as well. But if I'm not driving, I will have a pen and paper ready to jot down key points and write summaries connecting the new information that I've discovered with my learning objectives. So at the end of every chapter, I should intend to make sure that I write down a key point, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the book at least, make sure that I can look through all of those points and then actually sort of write down a summary of how that has actually truly helped me. Because I haven't really done that with any of the books that I've listened to or I have read cover to cover. 200 books, and I've got a lot of really great insights from the books. Got a lot of key quotes and sort of comments that I've taken from the books. But I know that if I had even consumed half of those books in the same amount of time, but I had actually really tried to focus on taking advantage of the information that I did learn from those books, where I truly intended to understand rather than just be entertained from that knowledge, from that information, I'd probably be in a much better place today than I am. And, you know, part of why I wanted to start making like a 30-day sort of challenge for myself again, bringing this point up, starting with this, is because I actually found that, you know, making the videos over the week that I was making videos, I had gained so much more insight. I'd actually become a much better person. I think over that time, I'd been more conscientious with how I spoke, with how I engaged with other people. I was much more open and a lot less enclosed to myself. I was actually able to have sort of better conversations and actually develop relationships with people I work with, and be more open in public as well. Just naturally be more comfortable and confident in myself. And I think a lot of that was because I was actually taking experiences from my day and not just thinking about it in my head and going, okay, that's interesting that this happened, and just kind of going, okay, well, that's a good point to have, and do nothing with it, and then move on with my day. Rather, what I was doing was I was taking key points, synthesizing and breaking down what had happened, what I took from it, and how I can use that. And that made such an impact. I feel like in, you know, that week and a bit of making content, I guess you could say, I learned so much more. I did so much more for myself than 200 books did for me at this point in my life. And yeah, so that's what I will intend to do, is to keep doing more of these types of videos where I share new insights I have and personal stories, and I will do all of this to make sure that I can develop my character over the next few weeks. Obviously, hoping and intending that I don't have anything else come up that would actually take me away from making these videos. Alright, so this will be the first video of 30 new ones I'll be making at least over the next month. I try to make this video just, clearly I've not had to break it out. It's a lot better than how I was in the first 1 or 2 videos that I'd made. I could not speak, I could not just sort of go off the tongue. It also changed the environment that I'm in as well. Might change it back to where I was, because the lighting is a lot worse here than over in the other place I was making the first few videos. I'll see. But yeah, either way, I'm making these videos more so for myself, just to try and keep myself much more accountable than I have been keeping myself over the last few years. And yeah, I'll see where this takes me. Okay, well, until tomorrow, take care.